The devil's fall from grace. What really happened? Everyone thinks they know the story of the angel who took on God. But what if the popular version of that story, a simple good versus evil smackdown, is just a fraction of the truth? What if the Bible itself holds clues hidden in plain sight that change everything we thought we knew about heaven's ultimate betrayal? But first, if you enjoy deep diving into the mysteries of the Bible, consider following Tiny Seed Bible as we unravel the Bible's most in-depth topics. Today, we're peeling back centuries of tradition and translation to ask, what really happened when Lucifer fell? Before there was a rebellion, there was a being of almost unimaginable splendor. In the book of Ezekiel, there's a passage that, while directly aimed at a human king, paints a picture so grand that many theologians see it as a blueprint for Satan before the fall. This wasn't just any angel. The text calls him the anointed cherub who covers a guardian of immense importance. Ezekiel describes a being adorned with every precious stone imaginable, a masterpiece of wisdom and beauty, who walked on the holy mountain of God. He was perfect, blameless from the day he was created. This is the traditional image of Lucifer's original state, the pinnacle of angelic creation. So, what went wrong? Well, the story of the fall isn't laid out in one neat chapter. Instead, it's pieced together from some pretty unexpected places, specifically to Old Testament prophecies about arrogant earthly kings. Early church scholars looked at the pride of these kings and saw a perfect Mirroran allegory for a much older and much bigger rebellion. The first clue comes from Isaiah 14. Though it's a taunt against the king of Babylon, it asks an infamous question. How you are fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning. Now, the name Lucifer is the Latin translation of the Hebrew Hallel ben Shahar, which simply means shining one, son of the dawn. It wasn't a mistranslation, but a translation choice that stuck. The passage then reveals the inner thoughts of this figure, a series of 5 arrogant I will statements, like I will ascend to heaven. I will make myself like the Most High. This was a profound ambition to usurp God's throne. The second clue, from Ezekiel 28, is addressed to the king of Tyre. Yet it describes someone who was in Eden, the garden of God. It says, "Your heart was lifted up because of your beauty. You corrupted your wisdom for the sake of your splendor." In both cases, the core issue is the same. Pride, a pride so all-consuming it became a poison. That inner corruption eventually boiled over into open conflict. The book of Revelation gives us a dramatic, symbolic vision of this war. It wasn't a debate, it was a full-blown battle. And war broke out in heaven. Michael and his angels fought with the dragon, and the dragon and his angels fought. Revelation explicitly identifies this dragon as that ancient serpent, called the devil, and Satan, who deceives the whole world. He wasn't alone. Based on a line about the dragon's tail sweeping a third of the stars from the sky, it's traditionally believed that a third of the angels followed him. But even with his followers, the former guardian couldn't win. The forces loyal to God, led by the archangel Michael, were victorious. The consequence was absolute. In the Gospel of Luke, Jesus makes a striking statement. "I saw Satan fall like lightning from heaven." This wasn't a slow drift downward. It was a violent, immediate expulsion. He and his followers were cast out, losing their place in heaven forever. And this was more than just a change of address. It was a fundamental transformation. The Lightbringer, Lucifer, became the adversary, which is what the name Satan means. The brilliant cherub became the prince of darkness, his very nature twisted by his rebellion. His story in heaven may have ended, but that's where his story with us began. After being cast out, he brought his rebellion to God's new creation, humanity. While the book of Genesis doesn't explicitly name the serpent in the Garden of Eden as Satan, later biblical texts and long-standing tradition make this connection. This is seen as the start of his work tempting and deceiving humankind. His tragic story, a cautionary tale of how pride can topple even the most magnificent beings, became tangled with our own, introducing sin and suffering into the world. The fall of Lucifer wasn't just the end of his heavenly chapter. It was the beginning of his dark influence on ours. If this deeper look into one of the Bible's most epic stories made you think, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe for more content that goes beyond the easy answers. We also want to know what you think in the comments. Do you see the story of the fall as a literal event, or as a powerful allegory about the poison of pride? From the shining guardian on the mountain of God to the fallen dragon cast down to earth, the story of Lucifer is a powerful narrative, assembled from prophetic visions and rich theological tradition. It stands as a timeless warning about the destructive nature of pride and the consequences of rebelling against the divine order. It's a story that reminds us that even the most brilliant light can be swallowed by its own shadow. If you enjoy deep diving into the mysteries of the Bible, consider following Tiny Seed Bible as we unravel the Bible's most in-depth topics.